Well, good Friday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Forgive me, I'm going to be a little bit off this morning. It was a rough night, rough day yesterday at the hospital with Rashid. Rashid's had some complications with the amputation of his toes, and it had spread in his leg, and they cut some more of his leg off last night. They took him in at 10:30 and was back about 2:30 this morning, and is actually doing better from where he was yesterday to today. And I just ask you guys to keep him in your thoughts and your prayers, because I believe that's what pulled him through last night. And I appreciate that. I got home here about, my wife picked me up from the hospital about 5 o'clock this morning. And he says the hospital water tastes like cardboard. And drank after the surgery about 4 bottles of Smart Water, but he likes the Essentia water, so I'm going to go get some Essentia water and go see him in a bit and make sure that he's okay and see what else he needs. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys keeping him in your thoughts and your prayers. Last night, it's Overreaction Friday. Are the Chiefs dynasty, because I literally saw that as a headline on YouTube videos, is the Chiefs dynasty dead? Are the Lions now one of the top teams in the NFC? Here's what I'm going to tell you, people. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't get too excited or too upset by what you see in September. A lot of teams have yet to play their starters in any kind of real work. You now, like the Cowboys, have not had your starters playing any time whatsoever. For some teams, the first couple of games of the season are preseason of just getting yourself together. So don't get too excited that, oh my God, they look so good. I have seen the Arizona Cardinals start out 4-0 and proceed to lose every other game that season. I have seen my Dallas Cowboys start off 3-5 and end up winning the division and going to the playoffs. That being said, Kansas City was short 2 superstars. Chris Jones, who of course was holding out, looking at the numbers for guys like Aaron Donald and Nick Bosa, and understanding what you guys offered me at $24 million a year is chump change for what I do. And I want you guys to understand something, because most of y'all will think about defensive line. Now, I didn't realize the numbers are staggering when it comes to Chris Jones. Because see, Chris Jones is not just one position that you're paying. When you have 437 double teams on you, you require to be double teamed 437 times. That means the offense is now short a player to take care of another player. That means somebody is free. 437 times there was a player on the defense for Kansas City that was not covered by anybody. There was nobody left to handle that guy. And that's where plays are being made. Linebackers love those kind of guys. And with that being said, 437 times he was double teamed, yet he still was 4th in the NFL as a defensive tackle. Understand, it's not a defensive end, it's a defensive tackle. Had 15.5 sacks. It's a lot harder to sack the quarterback from the defensive tackle position, especially when you're taking on double teams. That is huge. And you could see in some of the plays that the Lions made, if Chris Jones had been there, maybe they weren't made. And on the offensive side, you could see where Travis Kelce was missed. It's funny because I've heard all kinds, and shout out to Jay Tuck, because Jay Tuck and everything else is, of course, hitting it. He hits it on Twitter like nobody else. But it's funny because he has blown up the narrative because, here it is. You've got Kansas City versus Detroit Lions, yet Dak Prescott is trending. That's how powerful the Dallas Cowboys are. But immediately, a lot of us looked at this and said, it was a pick six by Pat Mahomes. It wasn't his fault. His receiver had it in his hands, wide open, should have been a big play for them. Instead, it's 6 points the other way. Instead of saying the quarterback threw a pick six, they lost by 1 point. Had they not had the interception, they would have won. I've heard all of the 4 drops. Kansas City had 4 drops. Oh, my God, poor Pat Mahomes, he had 4. He didn't have his weapon, Travis Kelce. They're missing Chris Jones on defense. Of course, it's not Pat Mahomes' fault. And it's funny because when you point this stuff out, they'll say, well, he was Super Bowl champion. You can't look at that and say it was his fault. How come? If it were the Dallas Cowboys playing the Detroit Lions and they lost by 1 and there was a pick six, whether it was Dak Prescott's fault, whether he was missing one of his players, whether his offensive line had 2 bad penalties going down the stretch, that his wide receivers had 4 drop passes, it would still be blamed on Dak Prescott. We know this because it's always there. When Dak lost Tony Pollard and didn't have weapons, Dak sucks. Dak just, he sucks. Just sucks. But that's the way of it. I will say, I'm not worried about Kansas City. Kansas City is good. But I will say, I might be worried about Detroit Lions. Because Detroit went in there, they weren't scared. They played loose and with reckless abandon. And I dare say on some of those runs, they manned the F up, went right at them, and had no fear. If they play like that, they can hang with anybody. They just proved they beat the Super Bowl champions in their house, a place that's hard to play in. Now, come Sunday, the temperatures are going to cool down, but it's going to rain a lot. Thunder showers on Sunday for the Cowboys-Giants game. Now, we have a revisionist history on Daniel Jones. There were a lot of people that were ready to throw him off the bus before last season. Much the same way, there were a lot of people that were ready to throw Jalen Hurts off the bus before the beginning of last season. They have a great season. They get paid. Dak Prescott doesn't give a rat's ass what you haters have to say. Doesn't. He doesn't buy into that noise. You can think whatever you like. Yeah. You can think whatever you like. He gonna brush it off. Let's go to Dak Prescott's press conference because literally, as everybody says that Dak Prescott's gonna be timid, he's gonna be thinking about interceptions. I actually think it's gonna be the other way around. When you fall off the horse, you get right back up. And I dare say the best way to forget about an interception is to go throw a touchdown. And let's see what happens come Sunday night. Now, of course, people have said, oh, you've jinxed the Cowboys, of course, because Mark Holmes holds all the power and all the control and destiny of the Dallas Cowboys. I am that all-powerful.
As a rookie, and you haven't lost it in since. Is that something that's really kind of driven you?
Yeah, losing in general does. Yeah, and I mean, that was, the first game of my career. But, yeah, I mean, where I'm at, I just want to keep on this streak, you know what I mean? Understand this is a good team. It's a different team almost every other couple years that we play them with the coaching changes they've had. But understanding what they did last year under Dayball with their offense, the progression, the defense, the players that they've added, that's a good team. Going to give them respect and just do what I've done every time playing these guys, prepare my ass off going into this game and just be ready for whatever they have. But they do have my respect, and it's always fun playing New York and definitely playing them up at their place. Probably the first time I've played them this early at their place, so excited for that, excited for the crowd. Just excited to be back in the game.
It seems obvious that going against this defense in practice every day will make you better, make this whole offense better. Can you elaborate on exactly how it does so?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it all training camp long, all offseason long. It's an iron sharpens iron. I mean, you look at the guys that we have on the other side of the ball and the way that they attack, the way that they rush, the way that the back end guys play the ball, the linebackers flying sideline to sideline. It's been tough. It hasn't been easy at all. We go back and forth, and it's exciting. That's what it's about. The competition is at its all-time highest as I've ever been here just at practice alone. So. And that doesn't go just for the starters. It goes for the guys on the show team. It goes for the backups. Anybody that gets a rep on this team is ready and prime and practicing to a standard to make the other guy better. And so, obviously, it's making us better. And excited just to really go against somebody else now.
Is there confidence that comes going into a game, knowing that you've kind of already seen maybe the best?
Yeah, I mean, there's confidence for what we've put in, the work that we've put in as an offense, the work that we've put in as a team, just all together, going back to the spring. So, as I said, it's just exciting now to get to do it against somebody else on Sunday Night Football.
Since the end of last season, you've been scrutinized on every outlet to LeBron-like, yeah. I don't know if you know, to LeBron-like levels, at least from out here, based on last year. And how have you handled that, and how much are you ready to put all that behind you and get ready for the new season?
Yeah, what I do here at times, it's behind me. If I've ever given credit to people's opinion, I wouldn't be this far, wouldn't have made it this far in my life in this league. Everybody has an opinion. My former teammate Chris Jones just said that. I read what he said about the opinions, and I feel the same. So for me, it's about focusing on what I can do, this team, the guys and the men that we have, and I can't control everybody's narrative, what they try to make something out to be. But as I started this off with, any loss is motivating, especially when I finished the season as we did last year. Yeah, it's about turning the page and writing a new sentence, and the pen's in our hands, and we're ready to do that.
Would you say that some of the criticism comes from the standard that was set before you in Roger and Troy? That's why you're
Sure. I mean, it's not for me to dissect why I'm being scrutinized or really even give any energy to people's narratives and opinions. That's for them, honestly.
That's for them.
Your trip to go ahead, John.
Probably something different that gets you excited about the upcoming season. What would you say would be that thing this year going into this?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, each team is different. I mean, really, each team is different, and then so it's something that you may feel from each team going in. But the brotherhood that we have, something I always talk about. The vets that we've been able to add, Gilly, Cooks. Even some of the rookies and the way that they've come in and just balled in. This is a close team, and I feel like I keep saying that every year, but I truly mean that it's getting closer, and we're getting closer, we're getting tighter. And, yeah, I mean, just goes into the practice, really. It just goes back to the training camp, the competition, the trash talk, all of that, the way that we practice against each other. I'm ready to see that live. I'm ready to watch our defense go hunt, and I'm ready for us to be aggressive and do what we do best, and I'm ready to watch it all come to life.
Your trip to Georgia, where Georgia did a great job on that. Where did that come from? That idea? Let's have this. Let's have an Army Ranger. Let's have this guy. Is that your brainchild? And also, how does it manifest itself every day on the practice field?
Yeah, I mean, it's my idea, I guess. Marketing agent Peter Miller helped me. He had known the O2X guys, Paul and Adam, connected us and just really brought them in and wanted to give them the time. Understanding that they've worked with elite groups and government agents across our country, and knowing that they've had a lot of success in their industry. So it's about stealing any little notes and culture, camaraderie, anything that they do. And honestly, it comes to life each and every day, from breathing techniques that they teach us, the mental performance, the sleep, the study habits and patterns, the clear mind. Guys talk about it. That's a part of me and CD's handshake with the breath. yeah, it's something that all the guys that were there have really taken it and incorporated, and each and every day that they come to work, and anytime we're in group sessions or anything, we're reminding each other of little tad bit notes. So some very successful and some we've got to build on.
Dak, we've talked about the addition of Cooks, the growth of Tolbert, Gallup's got more time post-injury, McCarthy being the play caller now. How much different does this attack around you feel compared to this time last year, and are you more comfortable?
I mean, last year's last year, honestly. Yeah, I'm way more comfortable. And I think it goes back into the spring and then the way that Mike installed plays, something I feel like I've continued to harp on, and just his detail in installing plays, his purpose of calling a play, that our plan's in. Our plan's in right now. Just went out there and practiced it. Obviously, we'll cross our T's and dot our I's and iron out the rest of it over these next couple of days. But my comfort level is at an all-time high, and I think that comes with what I said about Mike, what you just said about all the receivers, having the weapons that I do, even the young guys, and then obviously just the experience that I've had in this league, just all playing a part in it.
Mike talked earlier this week, and it was about the challenge of the season opener and like 35% unscouted,
For sure.
that kind of thing. And but from a quarterback's perspective, are there even more adjustments? You have adjustments every game, but just the challenges of this opener, even though it's a familiar opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mike was speaking for me as well on that, and just the offense in general. For me, it's just about what they may do that's unexpected. Understanding just as much as we've had a whole off season to put in new plays, iron out things, create strengths, they've had the same. They've had a chance to go back and look at what they did best last year and build off of that. Understanding who Wink Martindale is, wanting to get into multiple personnels, exotic blitz at times. He's had a lot of time on his hands, so it's about going back for us and studying what they've done against us, and but being prepared, and that's what training camp, that's what you create rules for, and just being comfortable within our system that when an unscouted look comes, that we have a plan just based off of the way we've practiced. And I think our defense presented us great opportunities all spring that no matter what's thrown at us, we'll be ready. And that's the beauty of the game is you can say that and then you get in the game and it is something you haven't seen, and that's where we're all challenged is we got to communicate on the sideline and create a plan or they're gonna feast off of it.
There you go. Dak Prescott doesn't sound like he's timid or he's scared or he cares a rat's ass about what you think. I believe the Cowboys are ready. I believe the Cowboys are on a mission. I know Micah Parsons has got his Super Bowl aspirations, and I think this team is going to be a little bit different than what we've seen before. And come Sunday night, we'll find out for sure. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.